Hello everyone, welcome back to Swanky Disc Golf. Today we are counting down our top 5 personal favorite discs for forehands specifically. Let's jump into it. I know a lot of you who are experienced disc golfers might be thinking you can literally forehand any disc and make it work. Very much so personal preference, and you're 100% right. But this is actually one of the questions we get asked the most about disc golf discs here on this channel. What are some really good discs to throw on forehand specifically? At number 5, we are going with the Clash Discs Cookie. Now there are a couple reasons that the Cookie makes a fantastic forehand disc. The first one is the flight characteristics. The numbers are 7502. That is a classic T-Bird, Athena. Every company has a 7502 disc. They are very heavily relied upon by amateurs and professionals alike. You'll kind of get different flights depending on your arm speed, but they're very torque resistant. They're also known specifically to be thrown on forehand more often than not. We chose the Cookie specifically for the hand feel. It's got this wildly smooth rim. We talk about this a lot. There are a few other discs out there on the market that do this. The Innova It has this. Most of the Clash Discs fairway drivers are similar. The Soda from Clash Discs have this rounded inside of the rim. So instead of these kind of 90-degree angles where it stops and then goes directly down, you get a smooth rounded inside of the rim. And that makes it extremely comfortable when you're gripping it on a forehand.
All right, number 4 on our list of favorites. This one is new to my bag, but represents a very large category of discs. This is the Latitude 64 Strive. This is a 13 speed. And has roughly the same stability as your general Destroyers or DD3s. This Strive in particular happens to be a little bit more understable than those, but the slot remains the same. A distance driver that you can fully crush on with the forehand, and it's going to reliably go right. It's not the kind of disc that we fill our slot with a Firebird or something that we know we can put a ton of anhyzer on and nothing's ever gonna happen. Discs like this, in this category of distance driver, will still be sensitive to your wrist angle. So there's a lot you can do with it. You can put it on a little bit of anhyzer and it's gonna carry for a while to the left before it fights back to the right. Or you can put it on a little hyzer and kind of simulate that super stable flight. But these things are clutch. The Strive in particular, I love the plastic on this thing. And 13 speeds don't normally vibe with my hand feel, but on forehand, there's something about it where I don't mind so much. I never throw this thing backhand because it's just a little bit too thick on the rim. But for forehand, it fits so well and it goes so far. So I really recommend the Strive if you're currently throwing maybe a Destroyer or maybe even something like a Force on forehand. I would recommend trying the Strive. I think you're gonna get a lot more workable flight out of it and maybe a little bit more distance as well.
All right, moving on to number 3, we are going with the Mint Discs Bobcat. This is from our long lunch tournament that happened recently. The reason I chose the Bobcat, I do personally love to throw it on forehands, but I find the mid-range slot to be a more difficult one to find discs that feel good on forehand. I'm not entirely sure why. It might have to do with that torque resistance factor. Mid-ranges can be a little bit more touchy with whether they're going to turn or fade. And then also just a lot of the rims feel a little bit more blocky is a word I describe with mid-ranges especially, but they don't feel good in this forehand grip. This one, very smooth. The shoulder's pretty deep, but not crazy deep like some very overstable mid-ranges. The numbers on this are 5.4, 2.5. This one you can shape some shots with. You can throw it flat, you can throw it on anhyzer. Really love this disc, really love the smooth rim. And then the plastic is, of course, we talk about it all the time. Mint Discs is manufactured by MVP. Great mold, great plastic. The Bobcat is what we're going with. Absolutely love this thing.
All right, number 2, this one's controversial, but this is our list and I love it. This is the Buzz SS. And this has been in my bag for a long time. This is a Tim Barham 2020 Tour Series, I think. So it's been in the bag for a while. I first started learning how to touch forehand with this disc, and because of that, I'm very comfortable with it. But there's just something about learning how to throw a forehand with an understable disc that will change your game completely. So this is why this is on this list. It's very unique on this list. Everything else is overstable, but this disc represents learning how to throw a touch shot and learning how to control the wrist angle on a forehand, which will help your entire forehand game. Get yourself an understable disc, could be a Buzz SS, could be something else, but whatever it is, practice throwing these lower power forehand shots and just watching the stability of a disc like this get you free distance. Because it really is just all about, especially on a forehand, it is all about the smooth release. It's all about making sure you're not rolling that wrist over and letting that disc pop out of your hand smooth and flat and watching it fly. This one's pretty beat up, so it's gonna turn over. If I don't put a tiny bit of hyzer on it, it's gonna completely turn and go. But I'll hopefully be able to show you on a few shots that like you can do a ton of things with this disc. You can throw it flat and let it drift all the way left. You can put it on a little hyzer and let it get a ton of distance for you. You can even put it on a ton of hyzer and it will flip to flat and almost simulate the flight of something a little bit more overstable, which is really cool, very workable, and definitely something if you haven't learned how to throw a shot like this on your forehand, it's gonna change your game.
And now for the #1 disc that we love to throw on forehand. Before we jump into it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. New videos coming out every single week. If you want to do a little bit extra for just 99 cents a month, you can hit the join button down below. You get access to a monthly video that is exclusive to members. You get access to a giveaway monthly that is exclusive to members. And you can also get access to our new Discord, which is a way you can get direct communication with us. You can give us feedback on our videos. You can help us compile these lists. We like to talk about the Pro Tour over there. We like to talk about different disc recommendations. It's a lot of fun, so be sure to hit the join button down below. #1, we have another cheater kind of. Any overstable 4-speed is what we're gonna say. We highlight the zone a lot on this channel, but today we're talking about the Toro. The numbers on the Innova Toro are 4213. What I really like about it is it's basically a slightly more overstable zone. Whereas you have the Zone OS is essentially a tilt in zone form. This is much more akin to what I would think of as a Zone OS. It is a slightly more overstable zone, and we absolutely love it. The rim depth feels almost perfect for like a stacked grip forehand. There are a lot of really good discs out there that we say like this could change your game. I don't think that there's a higher percentage shot that you can get out of a disc than a forehand approach shot with a Toro or a Zone or something like that. So that's the list, guys. Those are our personal favorites. Again, any disc can be a forehand disc, but let us know what your favorites are in the comment section down below. We'll see you in the next one. Stay swanky.